So what's it called? How much did you guys know about the Uvalde shooting, the one in Mexico? Texas?
I heard that there was a second shooter, or he was waiting for backup when he got caught.
I didn't hear that, but one of the crazy things is 19 cops stood in the hallway and did nothing.
Yeah, you would.
Apparently, the cops got their own kids out, and then walked. Like,
oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
That's true. That's even worse.
yeah, I read that somewhere.
People talk about like, oh, don't talk about conspiracy theories, blah, blah, blah. To me, that's the closest thing to that. I feel like I'm like, how did 19 cops just sit there?
Well, I think it's just
It's horrible.
government sponsored. Personally, I'll go there. I don't care.
Yeah,
I think it's those agencies, and I think they just prey on mentally unstable people, and then they just put them in that position, and then they have their talons in said law enforcement or said people that are supposed to intervene. And I don't see why it's that shocking to people, like based off of the history of false flags, history of all this stuff. Like, and not to say I don't fucking know. I'm not there. Like, I don't know for sure. Like,
you did.
A lot of this. No, I was there. I did. No, but like, it always just boggled my mind that people weren't even open to like the idea. Like, that's the weirder part to me. Is like, have you read a history book like at all?
Oh, dude, that's why that one.
Like, what do you mean?
That one black lady
stand up. Like, people just don't want to do research.
Well, it's just it's literally all over history. Like, it's false flags are one of the most constant things, like in world history in general. Like, what did Germany do when they wanted to invade Poland? They got 2 German soldiers to dress up in Polish uniforms and broke their stupid radio station and were like, Poland attacked the radio station.
Yeah. No, there's
we must fight.
What was the thing I was gonna say? Crap. Yeah, you're making me think of the Poland thing, and I can't remember. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
I consider myself more of a false fag because I'm not gay.
What about
false fag attack?
I'm gay. Just kidding. I mean, just kidding.
I'm gay. Just kidding. Oh, sorry, I was doing character there. Yeah, I'm joking.
Which one is it?
Which one is it? Now you're off.
Are you offended, or are you
offended, or are you offended?
Or are you trying to figure out how to compliment me?
Compliment me.
Because remember, I'm a hero.
Redecorating. Fags.
False fag.
It's a false fag attack. Dealt with this before.
We've dealt with this before. Oh, hold up those Versace shoes.
We'll be okay, baby.
He's not interested. It's a false fag.
Get down here on my PP and I'll save you from these false fags.
I don't know. I haven't experimented enough. I don't know if it's false.
I don't know if it's false yet.
There's one time we have to do more tests.
Could be true fag.
I really wanted to get into that frat, but I felt kind of neutral that time. And it's a journey.
Yeah, I'm gender neutral.
My name is gender neutral.
Oh man, how do we get from the Uvalde
Barbie? She's confused. She's not sure.
Yeah, but so yeah, 19 that's the thing. Is it easier to believe that 19 cops were cowards and sat in the hallway and literally listened to children getting shot?
Apparently, like similar like things like this happen in a lot of other shootings, or the cops they just stay outside. Like, is there an epidemic of shitty cops?
Probably, dude. Protocol
like cowards. Like, I mean, I'm sure. Given like if you're faced, your job is just to walk around the school, and you're a cop, whatever.
Well, it's not their job. They got called there.
Yeah,
these are cops in the community.
Well, yeah, still.
But
like,
it's a very
shootings too.
order-oriented system too. Like, for the state police, I think it is, or whatever. If you have too high of an IQ, they actually won't take you.
They want you to be like.
They don't want the type of people that are going to
think about what they're doing.
Yeah, it's the same concept with the military. So that way they can just sit there in obliviousness and be like, well, these kids might be getting shot, but I was a good boy and did my order.
Yeah.
Hats off.
Supposed to do.
I mean, that's obviously the personality type that they're going after.
Yeah.
Told you.
It's pretty frustrating to see. But the fact is, it's like either 19 cowardly cops stood there. But that's the thing. It's hard for me to believe that someone who's a cop could sit there and listen to kids getting shot through a room and be like, nope, not going in.
They did a Columbine. And it was like a similar. They had none of the procedures or things, but they literally sat outside the fucking library, and those kids got shot, and they could have said screw it and went in.
Well, wasn't there a pipe bomb that was supposed to be in there?
There were,
because one didn't go off. One, I think the one like didn't go off.
No, they were propane bombs. They were bomb.
No, one of them. I know for a fact that one did not go off. That's why they had to go into the library to like.
Well, neither of there were 2 bombs in the cafeteria. Neither one went off because if even one went off, the library would have collapsed into the.
Well, that's why they went. I'm saying that's why they went into the library because it like that was like their backup.
Well, it wasn't, but they had an alternate entrance where they. I mean, that's under the predication that they could have, and they weren't immediately aware of those propane bombs were actually one of the last things they found. Because one of the last things the shooters did before they died was go back downstairs and try to shoot the bombs so they would go off. But they also had an alternate entrance. Like they could have gotten a ladder from the fire department and gone up in the library and tried to defuse it faster. But the orders, it was more the policy surrounding that at the time. It was very, very disengaged.
Yeah, people didn't.
That's why it's disheartening now, though, to hear that the same levels of disengagement are still happening.
You're actually feeding into what I was going to say. People were saying like, oh, maybe this is part of their orders. Maybe this is.
Yeah.
I think it was the New York Times was able to get their actual orders as cops, and it literally tells you like walk by victims. It doesn't matter. It's just like it lays it out. Your first order is to engage the shooter.
That's all. Yes, and that is your because of Columbine.
Duty. Because it could, even if there's a kid bleeding out there or anything like that, because he could be killing other people. So you have to ignore all the victims and go and confront
to serve and protect.
And time is of the essence in those situations too, because there are a lot of injured and wounded people. And the sooner that you're able to disengage the shooter and secure the area, the faster you're able to get all those wounded people and all those potential dying people medical attention.
Yeah, no, it's actually might be a blessing that I was gone for the 2 weeks of doing that, because when that happened, I remember I was like, I had rants that are in my head where I was like, yeah, I probably get kicked offline for it, because like I sit there and it's like my dad was a cop, my dad would have done that, my dad would have started shooting cops if they weren't going to go in there. Like that's how, you know what I mean? Just because like you're a coward. Like some people literally say like
I do the job.
They might have aided and abetted. If you're sitting there, dude, people's parents are trying to go in there and they were arresting them and
they don't have
them.
that like you're saying too, because that policy has been changed. They don't have the same luxury that like the Columbine cops had at the time, where their policy was one of sweep every room and disengage, and
you just do it.
That wasn't the current policy.
And the thing is, they keep changing the narrative and saying what people said. They're like, oh, no, they told them that all of a sudden it was switched to a kidnapping thing. And it's like, it's not kidnapping when you hear pop. Wah! Oh, my goodness, I'm dying. And you're getting phone calls from kids. That's the thing. Play those phone calls.
Yeah.
Watch how quickly people freak out if you play the 911 phone calls of those kids calling in, being like, send the cops. Like, there's people literally, there's a guy in here shooting us, killing, like, it's crazy to me. The fact that cops did that, like, that's what even the Border Patrol was told to stand down. And then after a half hour, the people who went in there and did it just broke. They were like, no, we're doing it. We're going in. And it's like, that's the whole thing that, like, it's funny because those people recognized it. And to me, that's almost what America needs to do, like with the Constitution that's happening. Like,
get rid of all
at a certain point, you just go like, no. This doesn't follow the thing that I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to lose everything. Like, you have to be willing to lose your life. You also have to be willing to lose the fact that you might go in there and things might happen and the sheriff might go, oh my goodness, I told you to stand down. It's like, dude, I don't stand down.
That's the part that I think is the most like telling thing, man, is you need people who are willing to give up how comfortable they are to keep things good for people.
Yeah, no, and it's crazy because you would think that you have the ability now, like, to do the right thing more than ever when you have, you know, give, send, go, and you have, you know, crowdfunding and stuff like that, and the ability to do something like that. If you were to go in there and do something, and they were all of a sudden like, "Oh, you're fired," if you stopped a school shooting, you know what I mean, and you stop someone from doing something that horrible, and then you get fired, dude, the community's going to rally around you. Like, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind if one of those cops broke in there and then they tried to say that he created something else and then he just came out and did a public thing being like, no one was doing anything. I went in there. I did the best I could because I couldn't stand hearing kids do that.
Just like that guy that like got up out of his haircut and literally like went in and got like, because his wife was a teacher there, and his daughter attended the school.
Yeah.
So his wife texted him while he was getting his haircut, and he took the barber
shotgun, yeah,
with him, like mid haircut, and went to the school and got his wife and daughter out, and that was just, he was like an off duty agency, like 3-letter agency person.
I think he's Border Patrol too. But yeah, that's what's crazy too, when you sit there and you think that people,
but that guy, you know, like that guy should be like being lauded all over the when you see what, like, the things that they choose to magnify in these events, and not just like, even to mention like what Cantz was talking about, which is like something I know that you know is a little risky on YouTube, but like the fact that a lot of these people that do these shootings, there's one thing that they all have in common, no matter what kind of beliefs they have, is that we're all on some kind of like antidepressant medication that messes with your brain chemistry. And these people are like,
nope, gotta go after the guns.
No one talks about how these doctors are given carte blanche to make prescriptions like available to people,
to make cocktails out of people's brains.
If you've ever been to a psychiatrist, you understand that it's so backwards, it blows my mind. And I know this personally because of what they did to my mom. Like, when you go to a psychiatrist, you talk to the psychiatrist is the one that can administer medication. Psychologist is the one that's like a shrink, where they talk to you and teach you coping mechanisms and like mental stuff. So when you go to a psychiatrist, you talk to him for 15 minutes. That's it. That's all you get with a psychiatrist, 15 minutes. And they make a determination in 15 minutes. You see the psychiatrist like once every 6 months.
Yeah.
Once for 15 minutes. And then they can make a determination of what medications you need, what levels they need to be at. And they don't change them again until 6 months from then. And it's just like, that doesn't make any sense. It should be reversed. Like, you should be going to the psychiatrist like
once a week,
and they should be like, how are you feeling now?